Studio.
A very good evening. You're watching Brass Tacks. I'm Akanksha Swaroop and we're coming live to you from the CNN News 18 and Federal Bank Prime Time studio. Now today the CBI submitted its status report to the Supreme Court on the rape and murder of the trainee lady doctor at Kolkata's RG Medical College. The Sewerage made massive by saying that the crime scene might have been altered. It also brought to light the many inconsistencies in the way the West Bengal police has handled this entire case. First, by telling the victim's parents that it was a suicide before changing their statement to say that it was a murder. In fact, the CJI himself has questioned the delayed securing of the crime scene. Mr. Chandrachud has called it disturbing. Another significant problem revealed by the report is the apparent delay from the time the body was discovered in the hospital's seminar room until notification of the evidence. And by the way, it is a lapse of 14 hours as per Supreme Court proceedings. The Supreme Court has asked why a post-mortem preceded the registration of an unnatural death case. Moreover, when the body was recovered at 9:30 a.m., why was the FIR filed at 11:45 p.m.? How was principal given charge of another college after quitting? Why didn't the principal come himself to file the FIR? Is the principal trying to save someone? These are all big questions posed by the Supreme Court today. And while the top court resumes hearing on 5th of September, can the Trinamool Congress deny the CBI's claims of a cover-up? Even more so when the top court's questions highlight that the crime scene was tampered. Now that the Supreme Court has posed those big questions, why was the crime scene altered? That's the big question we are probing tonight on Brass Tacks.
पहला के बाद था कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट के ऑर्डर के बाद हमारे यहाँ पे सिक्योरिटी कंसर्न बढ़ेगा, यहाँ पे सीआईएसएफ डिप्लॉयमेंट होगा। सुप्रीम कोर्ट की हियरिंग के 2 दिन बाद आज सुबह को सीआईएसएफ डिप्लॉयमेंट यहाँ पे हो रहा है।
बीजेपी लड़ रहा है, जस्टिस मिलना चाहिए और ममता बनर्जी को तुरंत इस्तीफा दे देना चाहिए।
All right, and with that, let me introduce our esteemed panelists today. I'm joined in by Ms. Shazia Ilmi, who's the national spokesperson for the Bharatiya Janata Party, Mr. Saket Gokhale, who's the Rajya Sabha MP of the Trinamool of the TMC. I'm also joined in by Dr. Praveen Chandra, who's a Padma Shri awardee and also a renowned cardiologist at the Medanta Medicity. I am expecting another guest, but in a bit, if I could begin with Saket, if you could now finally break your silence over the CBI's report, because you talked about this mysterious silence that was being maintained by the CBI, but that report has been presented in the Supreme Court today. The Supreme Court has in fact posed some big questions. I hope you'll not call it a mysterious silence anymore.
Hi, thanks, Ms. Swaroop. Good evening. It is a mysterious silence because I don't know if you have had access to it, but except for the Honorable Supreme Court, nobody has seen the CBI's investigation and status report. Nobody has had access to it. That is how the process is supposed to work. It's an ongoing investigation. So unless CNN News 18 has seen it, I don't know, based on which probably you're raising allegations, but the report
No, I'm not raising any allegations because I just referred to the big questions that have been posed by the Supreme Court today.
The Supreme Court, again, I watched the entire proceedings. I was present throughout all of them. And I have to say here, I'm a parliamentarian. Okay, we are a house of record where everything goes on the record, and it's the same with the courts. The courts asked a few questions to satisfy themselves, and towards the end of it, the Chief Justice of India categorically stated, because I saw what you presented just before we started this show. So question number one, the Supreme Court was satisfied that an unnatural death report was filed 867 of 2024 at 10:45 in the morning. At 1:45, the college authorities, the medical college authorities, sent a letter to the police stating that a person had been found dead. The autopsy was done. A judicial magistrate has signed off on it. There's an inquest that has been done. All of it bear the unnatural death, the UD case number, which is 867 of 2024. Once the police party came back, the FIR was registered. So there is absolutely no observation, and I'm stating this on the record. I'm willing to be challenged on this.
All right, and that's why I'm going to quickly bring
Let me
in.
finish, please. Let me finish what I'm saying, please, right? Sorry,
I also have other panelists, Mr.
I understand. If you ask me a question and if I start
Sure,
talking,
go ahead. Go
you
ahead,
can't
please
take it.
finish. I'll give you
Please.
all the time to complete
Right.
your answer.
So there is no slamming of the West Bengal government that has happened today. There is no tampering of, again, I don't know where you're saying this as far as the evidence was tampered or the crime scene was left unsecured. It wasn't actually, and that is
No,
what
no, the Supreme Court
is
has
also
clearly
ethical.
said that the scene was altered.
No, it
the
hasn't.
crime scene was altered.
Would you wish to go on the record for it? Because either of us, if you're lying, that'd be contempt of court.
That is
Are you
why
willing to
I'm
go on
going
record
to,
with
in
that?
fact, bring
Because I'm
in
willing to
Mr.
go on
Aman
record.
Sinha. I'm going to bring in Mr. Aman Sinha, who's a renowned lawyer himself
Yes,
at the
Akansha.
Supreme Court. Mr. Sinha, first of all, of course, Mr. Gokhale over here is very much of the view that this is still a mysterious silence by the CBI, even though we do not have access to that status report. But considering, going by the questions that have been raised by the Supreme Court today, do they indicate any kind of a silence being maintained by the CBI? Not to forget, all those questions, don't they also highlight the lapses on the part of the Kolkata police?
Akanksha, this brutal rape and murder of a doctor on duty has shocked the conscience of the nation. And we have all seen the Supreme Court proceedings, and I was actually there also in the Chief Justice Court. And I can tell you, Akanksha, in fact, I do not know what my learned friend was referring to, because the entire investigation was transferred to CBI because the Calcutta High Court itself felt that the investigations conducted by the state police did not inspire any confidence. Now the queries, the questions which were posed very much by the Honorable Chief Justice and Justice Pardiwala and the bench which was presiding in the Chief Court, the first question was why there was such a long delay in registration of FIR. The FIR should have been registered immediately, Akanksha. When the body was mutilated, hand and legs were broken, it is for anybody to see and make out that this is a brutal case of murder. Even without any complaint, police should have immediately registered an FIR, which was absolutely not done. Secondly, Akanksha, you are absolutely right. Supreme Court also observed that the crime scene was not sealed for say about 20 hours, because the crime scene was sealed only somewhere around 11:30 or something, when the body itself from that particular scene of crime was recovered in morning. Thereafter, the principal not going ahead or filing or lodging a complaint, you would remember that the victim's family has they have stated that the principal of the RG Kaur College tried to pass it off as suicide. This is what the family was told. And I do not know what Mr. Gokhale is
Yes.
nodding and
You
mocking
know,
and smiling
exactly.
about.
No.
This is a brutality
This
of the
is
extreme
exactly
measure.
what I want
And
to tell you,
what is
Mr.
this that you are
Gokhale,
trying to
that
conduct
if
Yes,
yourself?
look, to your
No, no,
point,
no.
you don't need to make a
Now,
personal
Akanksha,
attack.
if I may
Nobody's
complete.
making
Sorry.
any personal
Akanksha,
attacks. I'm
Swaroop,
here.
Please,
I'm
but
here.
you
I'm-
don't
my
need
nodding
to.
shouldn't be
Please,
his
you
business,
don't need to
please.
laugh here
Right.
and smile
Look,
here.
Sir, I
Mr.
did not.
Gokhale,
Sir,
Mr.
I-
Gokhale.
And you also
No,
don't
I want
need
to
to.
request
Mr.
You
Sinha,
also have to be
I'm used
sensitive.
to-
I'm here to
Swaroop,
intervene.
You can't be.
I'm
You
I'm
used to-
here
can't be
to
laughing and
intervene.
smiling
Mr.
when the
Gokhale,
brutality of
please
murder
do
is
not
such an
smirk,
extent.
because yes, this is a very fragile
Swaroop,
topic.
Ms. Swaroop,
I will.
I'm used to parliament. I'm used to parliament with a
Akanksha,
certain amount of
please allow me
decorum.
to complete.
This is not the way of conducting a debate.
Right.
I'm sorry.
No, it's not about
All right?
conducting
Please,
a
Mr.
debate
Sinha has
or
not
a
been
debate.
to
I do not
parliament. He
think
doesn't know
Please
what
we
I'm
need a
telling
lecture
you.
on
It
decorum
is-
from
it is-
Mr.
Debates are
Gokhale.
conducted.
No.
He
Aman,
just does not
Aman,
even know what
Let
he's
me
going
make a
through
point.
in the Chief
Let me
Justice
make a
Court,
point.
and
All
he's
right,
putting
Mr.
his
Gokhale.
words.
Yes, yes.
Akanksha, please allow me to complete. No, he has disturbed me. Please at least allow me to complete.
Go ahead.
Now, Akanksha, what was really serious was that Mr. Gokhale trying to put his words into mouth of the court and trying to pass it off, as this is what court has said. These queries were raised. Everybody has seen that. Court has stated very categorically that there was delay in the registration of FIR. Court has very categorically stated that the crime scene was not sealed for such a long
Yes.
time. It was sealed only at
Is that in the
night.
order, Mr.
Aman,
Sinha?
that is
These
exactly
details
the
have also
point
emerged,
I am.
Akanksha,
Aman,
from-
that is exactly the
Please
point
do
that
not
I am
interrupt
making.
again
no,
and again.
No, let me finish that
Akanksha,
point.
can you allow me to complete?
Because what you are saying is
Yes.
very
Can
much.
you just allow me to complete once?
Please go ahead. I have given you ample time, Aman. I need to, in fact, go across
Akanksha,
to Mr. Gokhale
what I am
and the other
saying
guests
is-
as well.
No, please. I am being disturbed, and please allow me to complete what I am trying to say.
Right, go ahead.
Now,
I'll
this
give you
is a
another
case where
15
victim's
seconds.
family was saying that principal and the college administration was trying to pass it off as suicide. If the crime scene is not sealed for such a long time, will the evidence be not tampered with? And the principal, instead of any strong stringent action being taken, he is sent to another hospital as a principal, maybe a bigger one. This all clearly indicates that there was an attempt to cover up, there was an attempt to pass off this brutal murder and rape as some kind of suicide. And then we have heard these stories that how the cremation was sought to be done in a hurry, and these are all allegations of the family. The needle of suspicion is very clearly pointing out towards botched up investigations by the West Bengal police, and this is what emerges from the observations of the court. And Calcutta High Court has already observed that the investigations conducted by West Bengal police does not inspire any confidence at all.
Absolutely. Mr. Gokhale, Aman has already answered that. And that is
No,
exactly
Ms.
what I
Swarup,
was
no,
telling
no.
you. Now let me complete
That's not
what
an
I'm
answer, Ms.
asking.
Swarup.
No,
No,
you
if
don't
you
let
addressed
others
me-
ask their question.
You addressed
but
me,
you
Ms.
are
Swarup,
speaking.
you addressed me.
Right,
You addressed me and
but
said
the
he's
question-
answered, but
No.
he's not. He's
When
not answered.
you're saying that we
The Supreme Court
falsely,
today-
no, you're
Why
saying
would
that
you- why
we
you
are
assuming what I'm
falsely
saying?
allegedly.
Why are you assuming what
no,
I'm
no,
saying?
You're
Let me
saying
say
that
it.
we are alleging that
Again,
the
you are
crime
assuming-
scene was altered.
Yeah. Ms.
That we
Swarup,
are
why are
assuming,
you assuming
that
what
the
I'm
crime
saying?
scene was altered. But the
Why are
fact
you
of the
assuming what
matter
I'm
is
saying? I'm
that if you
saying-
cannot seal the crime scene,
You're
it is
assu-
bound
you're
to get
assuming what I'm
tampered.
saying.
It
If
is
you'd let me
bound
say
to
it.
get,
If
the
you would let
crime
me say
scene
what I'm
is
saying
going
instead
to
of
get
assuming.
tampered and
Ms. Swarup,
altered. That is
this
exactly
unfair.
what you were saying
You're
in the
assuming-
beginning.
No, that's not what the court said.
No,
And
that
I-
is
I
exactly
think
what
Mr.
the court
Sinha
said.
here-
But
no.
you can keep
No,
lying
listen
through
to
your
me.
teeth. But let
I
me
will
bring
challenge
in.
Mr. Sinha here.
Yes, Shazia.
Again.
Shazia, the question I want to ask
Akanksha,
you.
This is absolutely-
You know,
I mean, if you have an
Sagarika
agenda
Ghosh
to
has
run,
said
you
that
run.
those who have.
sealing the crime scene.
Please
The
do
crime
not
scene has to be
speak.
sealed off immediately.
Do not speak
And if it is
over
not
me.
being sealed off, then very clearly this is an act of omission.
That is
Oh, now
exactly
that is
what
Mr.
I
Sinha
said.
speaking over you.
Saket,
Sorry, Mr. Sinha
Saket.
can speak over you. I
No,
wasn't even
no,
speaking.
I have to move on with
You're
the
not
debate.
being polite, ma'am. This is not
Saket, you are
acceptable.
not being polite because the fact of the matter is I have two other panelists
He
who
was
are very
interrupting you, not
patiently
me.
awaiting the turn. I
Madam, he
will
was
come back to
interrupting
you.
not me.
Saket,
He
I
was
will come
interrupting
back
you.
to you. Please let me take my question from Shazia. It's a very humble request.
sure.
I hope it's not too much. Please let me move ahead with my question. Shazia, the question that I'm posing, we've heard open condemnations come in from a lot of TMC politicians, but today many of them are going to be silent. In fact, many of them have claimed, the likes of Sagarika Ghosh have claimed that the case has already been cracked. Let me quote her verbatim. A rape and a murder by criminal Sanjay Roy. The Kolkata police cracked the RG car rape and murder case in 24 hours and arrested exactly the right person. Those who have used this terrible tragedy to attack and vilify the Mamata government need to hang their heads in shame. Their lies have been busted. Whose lies have been busted?
You know, it's just adding insult to injury and actually rubbing salt on the wounds of the family who is asking for justice. What happened to that daughter of ours, the daughter of India? We all know what happened, how, in what condition, and gruesome, grotesque condition she was found in. So it's very pathetic that a lady MP has to talk like this, knowing very well that the parents of this girl seek justice and the whole, all of India stands with her. But now let me tell you what the Supreme Court did say. This is, I'm telling you, this is a transcript. Supreme Court's big question on Sandeep Ghosh was, what was the reason for 14-hour delay in filing the FIR? Why didn't the college principal come up himself to file the FIR? Who is he trying to save? He resigned and went to another college. And CJ also said that just not Kolkata doctor rape case, Mr. Kapil Sibal tried to answer and mentioned some guidelines, to which the Chief Justice said that does not justify FIR being lodged at 11:45. Body was recovered at 9:30 a.m. Not just that, Supreme Court tore into the government of West Bengal, has ensured there would be CISF now. It's a matter of shame. So Agrika Ghosh is talking about Kolkata police. They made sure that, not only making sure that the evidence was destroyed, they made sure that there would be no evidence of the culprits who obviously left the scene after having murdered the girl and also having raped her. It is not rape and therefore murder. It is murder. Most foul and gruesome and also rape.
All right.
Let me also tell you one more thing, and this is clearly said, but no, not all right. You gave a lot of chance to everyone else, and do not allow people to threaten you and take you to court. Last time, Mr. Saket Gokhale, जो जुमा 2 दिन पहले Parliament गए हैं, who's pretending to be an honourable parliamentarian, asked his records on defamation and what has transpired every time he's tried to misbehave and defame people. So let me be very clear today. Let me be very clear today. Let me be very clear today.
Shazia,
No, I want to say that he's threatening everybody here. We will not be
let's not
threatened.
get personal. Let's stick to the topic
No,
of the debate
he
today.
threatened you and he's threatening everybody.
I'm not
Listen,
afraid of
to
his
go? Are you
threats.
ready to go with this?
No.
Yes, I'm ready to go.
Shazia,
I'm
please,
telling you
one
what
minute.
this
When
is.
Come back to the
You
point.
can take me to
Come
court.
back to the point that we're making today. Are you done,
The
Shazia?
point I'm coming back to very clearly is that the girl's parents, no, I'm not done. A very small, bit that I want to add. The girl's parents are in a state of agony and anguish. They do not believe any of it. Clearly, some people are being protected. It is a complete collapse when you look at the police administration, the hospital administration. It's become the RJ Kar hospital has become, seems like a cesspool and of criminal activity. And not just that, to say that anybody who raises questions, their fingers will be broken. Their arms will be twisted. Don't you dare. Look at the threats. Arup Chakrabarti has even gone and said, telling the girl protesters that, if you want to roam around with the boyfriends, go ahead. But don't come back when the public gets angry with you. I mean, it's very shameful. In fact, there is such a decent TMC MP, Sukhendu Shekhar Roy, who's saying, I'm ashamed to say this, but this is a complete breakdown and we want justice and we want the police commissioner. This is coming from TMC MP.
You know, those are questions that I'm going to pose to Mr. Gokhale as well.
Sanjeev Ghosh, who should be interrogated.
I'm going to come to you, Mr. Gokhale, but I have Dr. Praveen Chandra. Thank you so much for very patiently awaiting your turn, Dr. Chandra. The fact of the matter remains today that, the SG, Mr. Mehta today highlighted that whatever the Supreme Court has today observed has come or arrived as a healing touch for all those protesting doctors. The fact of the matter also is that 150 CISF personnel was sent to the RJ Kar Medical College soon after the Supreme Court took notice of the lack of security. Don't you think that kind of protection should have come from the West Bengal government first, rather than the topmost court sitting up and taking notice of the security lapse for all those protesting doctors who continue to receive threats from hoodlums? Dr. Chandra, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. And the thing is that the most fundamental question is, and the problem entirely in our country, and that is now reflecting in so many incidences which we see on a regular basis in when there are negative outcomes, and they are bound to happen because we have patients coming in different kind of states. Sometimes they are very sick, they die within 24 hours of coming. Sometimes those are lead to such kind of vandalism and incidences of doctors being, and of course the emergency personnel or the emergency room healthcare professionals who are being hit and or who are being kind of attacked upon so many times. And this is because now people know that these places are absolutely unprotected.
Right.
They can do whatever they want. And I remember from my medical college days that girls were moving very freely. Any going one ward to another in the night time, or whenever there was an emergency situation, nothing was happening. Nobody even dared touch people like that, because and now the time has come that people are ready to kind of pounce upon you. They can hit you, they can even kill you, and that's what has happened. So this incident, although it is very unfortunate that we are responding to this ultimate incident which has happened in the life of a professional or a medical doctor, and is leading to so much of uproar over what is happening now. Now this is the time to actually make corrections rather than getting involved in more of a political side of the story. It's more important to understand what the problem is and how to solve this problem. That is what is the need of the hour, I think. And the Central Protection Act, which was thought of a few years back, it was set aside because nobody was interested.
All right.
Nobody is interested in having this kind of approach, that the healthcare professionals, they should work fearlessly, they should be absolutely safe when they are in the hospital.
True.
Or they are out of hospital. So that, I think, is the understanding which people should have.
And
come
perhaps,
to this,
I think to sort of expedite that kind of understanding, the Supreme Court, Dr. Chandra, has fortunately very much taken notice of that. And remember, when on day one, the top court took suo motu cognizance, they said that this is not just about a rape and murder. This is about systemic violence against doctors all across the country. But having said that, Dr. Gokhale, Mr. Gokhale, if I could bring you in, today we've seen the Bengal Chief Minister pen that letter to the Prime Minister requesting for speedy justice in such cases. I am very much with her. All of the women in this country, I'm sure, are going to be with her on that point. But when it comes to ensuring speedy justice, why not take an action against that principal who, yes, you have removed from the CNMC institution as well, but why not terminate him? I also want you to tell me, does the TMC give any kind of guarantee if he is going to be reinstated or not?
No, he's not. Ms. Swaroop, look, and I first wish to, by the way, address, because I've seen a clip of your show where someone else made a personal attack on a Congress spokesperson a few days ago. Ms. Elmi, I might be a year old in the Rajya Sabha, but I sit there with your party president. This is about your pay grade. Now, as far as the doctor is concerned, the principal is concerned, an SIT was formed, FIRs have been filed. Look, he's a government
Let's
employee.
not get personal over here, Saket, please.
Ms. Swaroop,
an eye for an eye is not going to, and I have checked Shazia if
you
she
let
has...
her have a say. Ms. Swaroop, if you would have stopped her, I would
Shazia
have not even said what I did.
And I very much intervened, and I asked her not to get personal.
Never mind. You know what? Never mind. Never mind. You want to hear the answer?
I can take care of
Would you like to
myself,
get back to the
Shazia.
topic?
I'll take care of myself, and please, let's abstain from getting personal over here. Let's
Wonderful.
not
I'll
attack
answer your point
anybody's pay grade over here.
I'll answer another. Well, let's not get into that, Ms. Swaroop, because again, personal attacks, I will not.
Yes, please answer my question, Saket. I'd really appreciate that.
The answer to your question is no. See, he's a government employee. As you would be very well aware, it is not easy to just sign a paper and terminate a government employee. There are processes. You're seeing that even with that IS officer Pooja Khedkar, you just cannot one day get up and dismiss somebody. He will not be reinstated. There is an SIT that was set up. FIRs have been filed against him. I can categorically tell you that he's not going to be reinstated, to answer that question of yours. Now, the letter that the Honorable CM of my state wrote today for a central legislation, it has been observed in the Supreme Court. Doctors have been saying that a lot of women's rights activists, a lot of legal luminaries. You said Mr. Introduce Mr. Aman Sinha as a lawyer. Little dishonest, Ms. Swaroop, because I saw his Twitter profile. He's a BJP leader as well. You should have full disclosure that there are two BJP leaders on this panel. Never mind. A lot of eminent
remove him from CNMC?
What do you mean?
Even
no, please.
Today.
Mr.
Why
Gokhale,
remove CNMC?
I am a senior advocate of Supreme Court. I do not need your certificate.
Sir, your profile, your Twitter profile says you're
Mr.
from the
Gokhale,
BJP.
I don't know why are you attacking your co-panelists right now?
Yes, I am. So
please,
what?
Please
So
stick
from the
to
BJP,
the topic.
yeah, so why
I'm
Mr.
sitting here in my
Why not say there are two BJP
as a senior
panelists?
advocate of Supreme Court.
Why not say there are two BJP panelists?
I'm going to intervene. Mr. Gokhale,
Please,
this is
Akanksha.
whataboutery. Stick
Why
to
not
the
be
point.
honest that
You
you
are
are
not
not from the
answering
BJP?
why a Sandeep Ghosh has been removed after
What do
2
you mean
weeks
by
from
honest?
CNMC.
Who has said that I am
I'll
not?
tell you,
No,
Mr. Swaroop, I'll tell
Mr.
you why.
But I
Gokhale,
am.
don't bring
I am,
yourself
but I am
down.
addressing
Don't bring
I'll tell you,
as
yourself
Ms.
senior
Swaroop,
advocate of
Mr.
Supreme
No,
Court.
Mr.
no,
Sinha
no.
were to let me speak, I would. Please.
If you
Okay.
will attack him, he
I'll
has
ask
all
you
the right to counter
What do
you.
you
You
mean,
do
let me
not
speak?
attack
then
He
let's
others.
see
makes
playing
snide
this game
remarks
because
and then
he
you
Yes,
say that
please
you
don't
let
be
me
side
speak.
with your...
He talks
Who are
about
you?
my
Right
What have you
expressions.
done in
I
your
talk
life?
about his.
What is your
Please
Please
profession?
stick to the questions
What have
and
you
do
done in
not
your life
attack
to
the
deserve a Rajya
co-panelists.
Sabha MP?
Let me answer the
I
question.
question your credentials as professional.
Ms. Swaroop,
Who are you?
Ms. Swaroop,
You are a small
when he
time
talks
Ms.
about
Swaroop
my-
cannot help you right now if you're going to get personal with everyone on this panel. And Mr. Gokhale, I'm going to really appreciate if you can stick to the topic. And the topic is also that your government has failed to provide security, which is why 150 personnel of the CISF were ordered. That too, after
Can
the
I answer your
judiciary,
earlier
the
question
topmost
first?
court had to intervene.
Can
But
I
you know,
answer your
you
earlier
will
question
only
first?
indulge in whataboutery. Who is this
Can I answer
person?
your question?
Why is there
Is that a
the
question?
pay grade over here?
Ms. Swaroop, am I supposed to answer the question or are you going to answer
Mr.
for me?
Gokhale, if you want to
Look
utilize
at the
the
amount of
time,
time you're speaking. Look at the amount of time you're giving me to speak, Ms.
please
Swaroop.
go ahead, answer all these questions.
I'm trying to,
All
but you
of
just
these
won't let me
questions
speak.
remain unanswered. Go ahead.
Again, that is, if you ask are you giving an answer or asking a question? If there is a question, I will respond. But you got to stop the monologue then for that. Please.
He has nothing
About
to
the
say,
principle,
obviously.
number one, 99 times we can be right. One time mistakes happen. The principal should not have been transferred. He should have been removed from his job immediately. I admit that. I agree to it. But the thing is, we are humans. We are not non-biological. Unlike the Prime Minister, we make mistakes. The BJP never makes mistakes. Which is why we are talking about Kolkata today, not Badlapur, where 4-year-old minors have been sexually assaulted, but we're not talking
Again, what about
Never mind.
our parents? For God's
I am,
What
the
are you
BJP
saying? Are
has
you
very
diminishing
much
that?
said that they
Ms. Swaroop,
unequivocally condemn that. Please go ahead and tell
It is
me
not about
why
condemning,
couldn't
Ms.
the
Swaroop. It's
TMC
about-
government
it's
provide
about-
security to the doctors,
Why do you,
which
why,
was
Ms. Swaroop,
provided?
I have a question.
Sir, I have a question
why
for
do
you.
Why do you get so angry when I say the word
No,
BJP
I
from my
am
mouth?
asking you the question in
Why do you
terms
get
of
so upset when I
security.
say BJP?
Mr. Gokhale, why couldn't the
Why
security
why
be
can you-
provided by the
Look,
Bengal government today,
you
which arrived?
you can't do a censorship here where only praise the BJP.
All
You
right,
can't say
you
the word
made
BJP.
your point.
Sorry.
Now tell me, why
If they
couldn't
can
you
say, I
provide
can also take the name of a
security?
party.
Mr.
Yeah, I'll answer
Gokhale,
your question, but not with interruptions, Ms. Swaroop.
please go ahead, tell me
I'm
why
sorry.
couldn't that security
If
arrive
TMC can be criticized, so
earlier?
can BJP. You have to allow that much of
Yes,
fairness.
of
in
course
debate,
I
please.
have to.
Thank you very much. Now, very simply speaking, I have heard things on this show. I'll point out what the Supreme Court also said today, which no one conveniently mentioned. They interrupted a counsel who was talking about 150 grams of semen found, and the Supreme Court said, please don't take social media theories and come here and use them as an argument of law. We just heard a so-called eminent lawyer right now talking about broken bones and broken wrist and broken ribs and all of that. The autopsy report is very clear. It's very well out there. Your channel itself, by the way, has published a fact check. Your own channel has published a fact check, which I greatly respect because your channel has busted a lot of the rumors that have been going around. But what I find weird is that on the website, your channel busts these rumors, and here panelists are coming and making those rumors all over again.
No, and we are not endorsing them. Saket, we are not
But you're
endorsing
allowing them,
them.
no?
But
You're
you know,
allowing them, Ms. Swaroop.
you've still not
You're allowing
answered.
them.
You've still not answered the lack.
question? Tell me,
the
ask me.
timely
Ask me, I'll
action.
answer.
The lack of
Ask
timely
me.
action against the Bengal police,
Again,
against
there has not
the
been,
principal.
There's no lack of, Ms. Swaroop.
Tell me
there has not
something.
been-
No. Why did the security personnel arrive so late? Why did they have to arrive after the topmost court had to intervene? You've not been able
Which
to
security
answer.
personnel?
But I'm running short of time.
Ms. Swaroop, you're wrong. Kolkata police are already
Akanksha.
there. The CSF came one day late. CSF was supposed to come yesterday. They came
Everybody
today.
is
And
You're
the
under
Kolkata
central
police
government, not us.
and the Kolkata
Everybody
police
else is
did
wrong.
Kolkata
nothing.
police has been there right from day one.
The Kolkata
Kolkata
police
police
did
has been there right
nothing.
from day
They
one.
did nothing to protect those protesting doctors.
I am sorry, Ms.
Till
Swaroop, not a
date-
single
No,
doctor
this is
has
not
been injured.
misinformation.
Please,
The doctors
not a
have
single
not been
doctor has been
protected
injured.
by the
Unlike
Kolkata police.
Maharashtra, we are
The
not arresting
Kolkata police
protesters.
has acted
You
like
cannot
perpetrators.
speak on facts,
All
Ms.
right.
Swaroop.
Now I need to wrap up. And Aman Sinha, I have a question for you.
Akanksha.
Aman, I have a question for you while you also take a rebuttal. Do you
Yes,
think
please
that
go ahead.
the connect between the civic volunteers and the Kolkata police should be probed further? Because here I have the report of the NHRC inquiry committee, which was examining the post-poll violence of 2021 that was also again targeting women over there. And let me read out one of the points that it has stated.
Targeting women,
They are
please,
generally
Ms. Kulkarni,
perceived to be
case.
agents
This
of
is
the
very
ruling party as they were recruited during the tenure of the AITC and maintained touch with local party leaders. Let me also tell you, the Bengal government has increased their pay only yesterday. Why increase the pay of the civic volunteers in the month of August at a time when the civic volunteers' roles is very much under the scanner? Do you think that the role that the civic volunteers are playing and the way they are being misused by the Kolkata police needs further probe over here? Aman Sinha.
Akanksha, you're absolutely right. All angles are required to be investigated thoroughly. But I can tell you, Akanksha, you posed several queries to the gentleman who's speaking on behalf of TMC, and when they have no substance, they indulge in personal attacks. That is all that they have got. Now, entire country today is seeing how they are conducting themselves, Akanksha. One more point, Akanksha, you raised a very pertinent query that why the principal was not sacked. And he was, glorifying that, that there are government rules and all that. In a case of such horrendous crime, serious nature, principal tried to pass this off as suicide. There are several reports that, the body was mutilated and everything for 14 hours as the head of
You're
institution.
running fake news
He
now,
did
man.
not even,
Mutilated body, seriously?
register. He did not even, was the body not mutilated? Have you seen it? Where, how do you know? How do you ascertain the fact?
You're
Are you privy to
Please let him make a point.
reports?
The report is very clear.
Please.
Mr. Sinha, don't spread fake news.
I did not interrupt you. You were uttering
You're spreading
lot
fake
of
news.
rubbish. You
Please
did not
let him
understand
make
the
his
words which
point.
were coming out of your mouth. But you are disturbing me. Who are you? What have you done in your life to just jump and disturb everybody?
Right. Aman,
Who are
please
you?
go ahead,
What
make
do you
your
think
point.
of yourself
Aman,
just
please
because
make your
you have
point.
attained some
Mr.
position
Gokhale,
now?
please.
Now, Akanksha, the
I've never
point
heard your
is
name before,
that
Mr.
the
Sinha.
least that the state government could have done is that they should have suspended the principal. He is complicit. There are very serious allegations against him. He did not register the FIR for 14 hours and a pretty long time. The crime scene was not also sealed off. These are appalling omissions. And the head of institution, the least that state government should have done is that he should have been suspended straight away. So therefore, whatever the stand that the state government is taking, it's absolutely appalling, Akanksha. And the kind of allegations which have been made by the family that this is an attempt to cover up, the principal and the hospital administration were trying to pass this off as suicide. The cremation also had taken place in a hurry without properly giving time to the grieving family to see the body of the victim. If these are not if these are not needles of suspicion pointing towards cover up by the West Bengal police,
I need to
I
wrap
do
up.
not know what else it would
Under
be.
Yogi Adityanath.
Saket, please go ahead, make your point. I need to take closing thoughts from
Thank you.
Shazia as well.
No, you can finish. I'll do it at the end. You can finish with the others. I'll give my
No,
closing.
I'm just okay. Shazia, make your point.
So I want to see the very so initially in the beginning of the debate when it started, what was the TMC representative trying to say? That the Supreme Court was extremely happy with the Kolkata police, and Sagarika Ghosh actually and many other MPs say that the case has been cracked. If Kolkata police had cracked the case, why did Mamata Banerjee have to go out on streets? Why did the Calcutta High Court have to mandate CBI inquiry? Why did Supreme Court had to tear into what has happened? Why did CISF have to be employed to secure the premises? I want to know why was the renovation suddenly thought of to be done the next day? Why did it take so long? And I can just quote again, the reason why I started quoting CJI today and Justice Pardiwala and the other judge, Mr. Manoj, was because initially there was a threatening, menacing tone in which Mr. Gokhale said that, are you ready to go on record on this? Are you ready to go on record? Yes,
really,
this is all on record and I am reading out exactly what the judges said. And the judges also said that in 30 years of my career, Banjat said that 30 years of my career, I have not seen.
What happened
anything
after
like
that? What
that
happened
is
after
the reality, and that is there.
All right. And Mr. Gokhale,
What happened
now
after that is.
Let him finish. I think, Shazia, I've given you enough
Can-
time. Mr. Gokhale, before you in fact attack Hathras, let me also tell you that the resignation of Yogi Adityanath was very much demanded by parties including yours, and that also explains why the resignation of Mamata Banerjee is being demanded.
My question then, Ms. Swaroop, is that they're alleging cover-up. Today, the entire court proceedings, the court said fifth because the investigation is ongoing. Unless the BJP has access to the CBI files and they're working on it together, I don't understand how BJP is privy to an investigation. Ms. Shazi Ilmi said culprits. But the CBI report that has been leaked on news channels today says that there's only one
It's
culprit.
not leaked. What are you saying? It's ludicrous. We've all actually been witness to the court proceedings.
Ms. Swaroop, let me
The
tell you
SG,
something.
Mr.
My final
Tushar
comment.
Mehta was representing the CBI. Please don't insult the Solicitor General over here.
Ms. Swaroop, final comment. Look, you're conducting a show. And I appreciate that. I came
Yes,
here
but
today.
don't talk about
Thank you
leaking of the report
Thank
and
you
all.
for having me over.
Thank
Let
you.
me
It was a
finish
pleasure
let me
speaking
finish
to
what
you.
I'm saying. Let me finish what I'm saying, Ms. Baru.
I'm also running.
What the
I
fake
told
news that
Kapil
you're
Sibal
spreading on your
that by
show
using-
affects
Nobody
law
is
and order in
spreading
my
any
state.
fake
You
news.
social
The
media-
fake
And you
news
know,
you're
it
spreading
is
on your
you
show
who is spreading
affects law and order in my
misinformation
state, madam.
by
Please
saying
be a
that
little
the crime
responsible.
scene was not
Please be a
altered.
little
It's
responsible.
been maintained by the
Please be a
Supreme Court.
little
Dr.
responsible.
Chandra, I would like
Please.
you to speak up today now that you have members of the ruling party from Bengal. Every time they support that kind of cover-up, they support all those lapses instead of showing the chivalry to own up to those lapses. How does it go down with all those protesting doctors and especially the mourning parents of the lady doctor who was brutally raped and murdered?
Yeah. So, finally, what I would like to say today is that this is a moment where we have to introspect on what is the situation of the healthcare professionals and doctors, not in Calcutta only, in the entire country. So, I am not in favor of this party or that party. I am just talking of the situation which needs to be seen in correct light. And with the correctness of course, this matter needs to be dealt with absolutely correct ways of proceeding with whatever cases it is done. But overall, you have to understand that this is just a tip of the iceberg. And what is happening in the entire country, we hear it every now and then. And so we have to look at the bigger picture.
Yes.
What you are looking at is just one incident, although it is the most ghastly incident which I have ever heard in my life with a healthcare professional. But certainly this is something which needs to be introspected, which needs to be looked upon, and we have to see how the healthcare professionals and doctors are given safety. They are working fearlessly and towards the benefit of the patients at all points in time. And of course, if that is the way the whole thing is being handled, that will give to positive outcomes. So we have to bring out some positivity in this rather than saying that we fight amongst each other now, rather than bringing out the real outcomes or real answers.
I think it's a moment to hang our heads in shame and perhaps resort to some introspection, because remember, the Supreme Court, in fact the CJI himself was so shocked that he said that he's not seen a case as heinous as this in 30 years. And if that can't sort of get us to wake up and smell the coffee, I don't think and at the same time the Supreme Court's also maintained, let's not politicize the matter, let's own up to where our responsibilities stand and collectively as a nation. Many thanks to you, Shazia, and all the gentlemen over here. Appreciate your insights. And with that, let me now shift focus over to the other story that we've been tracking this hour, and that comes from Karnataka. As a Deputy Chief Minister from Karnataka, DK Shivakumar has also made a bizarre statement. He's hit out at Bengaluru citizens. He's called them ungrateful. This over the planned rise in water tariffs. He said, and let me quote him, "If they don't get water, they will abuse us, call us and put messages on WhatsApp. They do not know how difficult it is. I will increase water tariffs. Otherwise, the Water Supply Board will not survive." Many parts of Bengaluru suffered from a water crisis during peak summer, but the blame has gone to the inefficiency of the Bangalore Water Supply Board, which back in February recorded an overall debt of over 8,000 crore. The BJP has hit out at the Congress party, accusing it of insulting the people of Bengaluru, demanding that the Deputy Chief Minister take back his statement and apologize. The Bharatiya Janata Party has said that the government runs on the taxes that the citizens pay, not the funds of a political party. This has also become another flashpoint in Karnataka amid the storm of the Muda scam that has already embroiled Chief Minister Sivakumar. But this begs the big question: does the Deputy Chief Minister's statement reek of the pressure of fulfilling the 5 guarantees of the Congress government that have a whopping 50,000 crore rupees annual price tag?
ನಾಗರಿಕರು ಬಿಡಿ ಅವ್ರು ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಾತ್ರ ಬರೀ ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸ್ಕೊಡೋದಷ್ಟೇ, ಅವ್ರೇನು ಉಪಕಾರ ಸ್ಮರಣೆ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ಎಷ್ಟು ಕಷ್ಟ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಅರಿವಿದೆ. ಬಿಲ್ ಕಟ್ಟೋರು ಕಟ್ತಾರೆ, ಕಟ್ತಿರೋರು ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ನಾನಂತೂ ನೀರು ಬೆಲೆ ಏರಿಸೋನು.
All right, our esteemed panelists joining in today are Mohan Vishwa, who is the spokesperson of Karnataka BJP, Nivedit Alva, who is a spokesperson of the Karnataka Congress. Many thanks to you, gentlemen, for joining in. Mohan, I really want to know today. In fact, I was speaking to one of the BJP spokespersons from Karnataka, and they said that it's not just about the hike in tariffs, it's the manner in which it has been, the message has been delivered by DK Shivakumar. Where's the problem?
See, Akanksha, the arrogance and disrespecting the citizens is in the DNA of Congress, starting from, Rahul Gandhi or Indira Gandhi, and also till DK Shivakumar or Siddaramaiah. See, this government, whenever from past 15 months, if you take up the newspapers in Karnataka or if you see the news channels in Karnataka, every day you will hear only two things: either a price hike or there is a scam. Except for these two, nothing is happening in the state. If you see this government, they said while assuming the power, they're going to implement all those guarantees without even hiking the prices. But what did they do? They increased the petrol price, they increased the diesel price, they increased the electricity tariff, they increased the excise rates, and also they increased the bus rates, they increased the KSRTC bus rates also parallelly. At the same time, now they are getting into hiking the water, which is required for the poor. Come on. And this government is already bankrupt. They don't have money for the development. We have seen from past 2 years, the debt of the state has increased by 1,91,000 crores, even after increasing the price. After even doing this, after losing the elections badly in the state, the 2024, the union elections, they are so arrogant against the citizens that each time they are disrespecting. They say that, whenever there is some issue, they blame the people and they say they are not voted even after supporting them. What kind of support they're doing? At one pocket, they're taking 10 rupees and they're going to give the benefits of 5 rupees to another pocket. Is it the way the economy will develop? See, the Siddaramaiah, who calls himself as an economist, who has presented budget for 14 times. So this is the way he's running the state. And also DK Shivakumar, if you see his background also, he's like that. Arrogance is in his DNA from the day one. The same thing he has shown here. So definitely he has to get an apology. No, he has to ask apology for the citizen. This is not the way to behave.
All right.
There's no fund in the government.
Nivedit Alva, do you think that the Congress in Karnataka has bitten more than they can chew? Because it's all coming back to the promise of the freebies and the fact that you now need those funds. And not to forget the tone and tenor, please address that as well.
Not at all. I don't think this has absolutely nothing to do with the guarantees. To start with, let me just clarify something. I mean, I'm going to ignore the first part of the rant of the BJP spokesperson because it has nothing to do with the debate at hand. And if he feels that dragging in the name of Indira Gandhi and Rajiv Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi into every debate is his brief, it's of no use to me. Just so that we're clear on the raising of the water tariff, the last time the water tariff was raised in the city of Bengaluru was 2014. I'm just going to give you a few numbers so that we're clear on where we are. Sure. 1 second. In 2014, the cost of power for running BWSSB used to be 35 crores a year. It is now 67 crores a year. The establishment costs of BWSSB in 2014 were 25 crores a year. They are now 45 crores a year. That is including three pay scale revisions, including salaries and pensions. The maintenance costs and the area which was covered in 2014 till now the overall area which covers is over 650 square kilometers of Bangalore, right? More importantly, there are various debt servicing, yes, which is the building of STPs, the building of stormwater drains, all in keeping with KSP, Karnataka pollution control and NGT norms, which is also there. Right, so the last time prices were raised was 2014.
All right.
And it is now being, first of all, nothing has been announced. It is said that it's being announced. The actual price rise has not been announced yet. And that is being done after a period of 10 years. Having said that, that is where we are at on the water crisis in Bangalore. Those who live in Bangalore understand that there is a lot of wastage. There is a lot, the city itself has grown and that needs to be serviced, right? And that costs. It is not about linking everything. For example, I don't see such debates happening every time the LPG price was raised over the last 2 years, every time the price of petrol was raised, every time everything else is raised by the union government is fine.
No, but
when a state government decides to raise
it is the
prices
plight of the
after-
common man.
Let me finish.
I'm sorry, I'm interjecting right now because I've
You're not
given you
letting- can I
ample.
finish?
No, but I gave you ample time. Keep in mind the plight of the common man in Karnataka because inflation is taking a toll on their pockets. They are bleeding by their pockets. Not to forget, this is not the only tariff hike that we are talking about. We've already seen that sales tax hike in petrol in case of fuel.
Exactly.
So it's not just that this is a one-off case.
Are we saying that this is the only government in the country in the last year in their budget that has raised prices on petrol, that has raised prices on various taxes, or is Karnataka the only state that you are deciding to focus on? Every single state, that is why there is a budget every year. The budget, what we are not talking about, the honorable BJP spokesperson ranted and raved about all the things that he says are happening under this government, and he has still not come to terms with the fact that their government was on what basis it was voted out, and the Congress came to power with 136 seats. He says we did disastrously in the Lok Sabha elections in Karnataka. According to him, we had 1 seat last time, we're up to 9 now. And as for our leadership and the way that he was ranting and raving, I really don't think that the
Mohan Vishwa, in fact, let's
is in a position to give any certificate.
I don't want. I'm running short of time. I'm running short of
Yeah.
time, so let me stick to the point over here. Mohan Vishwa, many are also going to ask the question that it's being asked that if it is about addressing a situation with the BWSSB. As far as the Deputy CM is concerned, he's also quoted the 5th phase of the Kaveri project. Now, if that is also been a concern, this could have been addressed by your own government also, which was in power prior to the Congress government. Why didn't the BJP, when it was in power, sit up and take notice of these issues? Because, I have an entire record of every time a hike in tariffs was proposed by the BWSSB, but it was shot down. Why so?
See, Akanksha, regarding the 5th phase of Kaveri project is concerned, it was at the end when we lost the elections in 2023. It was almost at the end. They hardly left out anything to complete. I don't think so that is connected to BWSSB tariff.
It was also in January of 2020, November 2020 as well. It's been the recent tariff hikes proposals. No, I'm just correcting your facts. I'm correcting your facts.
See, in 2014, like he said, it was happened in 2014, last tariff 5. Who was there in power in 2014? Same Siddaramaiah, same government. Now, after 10 years, they are doing. When we were in power in between, we did not do it. We ran the state efficiently, economically, by not increasing too much of prices. What did the promise these guys said when they came into power or before coming into power, when they're doing all these elections manifestos, are doing prachars in elections and all? they say, they are not going to hike the prices, they're going to run efficiently, they're going to bring the money and they're going to run the government. But what they're doing from past 15 months, yes, what I'm telling is, he is right. Karnataka Congress government is the only government from past 15 months in entire India who has increased taxes on petrol, diesel, electricity, water, excise, stamp duty, even the small things like
All right.
the deeds and all. They have increased in every look on corner. They have not left anything. That's the only
All right.
government.
I'd like
Time,
to give,
even after increasing the tariff, even after increasing the
let's quickly give Nivedit time to explain all of those points that you have highlighted. And while you do that, Nivedit Alva, the fact of the matter is that, the Deputy CM has also said that the BWSSB's report will be presented in the public domain before such tariffs are actually put in place. But he has not done that, and yet he's ready to, come up with that hike in tariffs.
No.
Why?
So just to clarify on the point you raised, yes, he has said that they will be raised. They have not been announced yet. That report will be made public before it is raised. But also another thing which was announced today.
And I hope that the public opinion will be factored in, Nivedit.
Yes, the Kaveri water connection campaign, which has also been announced, is going to bring basically water to 110 new villages across multiple assembly constituencies in Bangalore. That has also been announced today, which has been left out. The other thing on the guarantees, I don't see why the BJP still hasn't been able to get over the fact that we promised 5 guarantees and that we delivered on them. The guarantees today have raised the level of life across the whole of Karnataka. Anybody who sits in Bangalore will not understand that. Those who travel across the length and breadth of...
I'm sure, that's what we
all...
I'm running
Anyone
short of time.
who travels across the length and breadth of Karnataka and rural Karnataka will see the difference that the bus passes have made to women.
Right.
We'll see the difference which has made that power, the free power which is being given up to 200 units.
That still doesn't justify why the common man is still crying foul in terms of, the kind of inflation that they've had to face in the state. Many thanks to you, Nivedit Alva, and many thanks to you, Mohan Vishwa, for joining in on CNN News 18 with your precious thoughts. And that brings me to the end of this edition of Brass Tacks. Thank you so much for watching. News and updates continue on the other side of a quick break. Stay tuned to CNN News 18.
Sex maniac, and it also suggests that the victim perhaps fell prey to his sexually pervasive, perverse behavior. And what is it that Sanjay Roy knows? He claims that what he's saying is the truth. However, CBI wants to also put him through a polygraph test, a lie detector test. It has not happened yet, even though the preliminary permission came 2 days ago, because no lawyer wants to represent him. A legal aid counsel has been assigned to him, but CBI is worried, it is concerned that given the allegations and given the public mood here in Kolkata, if Sanjay Roy is taken to a public place like the Sealdah court for the polygraph test procedure, for the polygraph test hearing, there could be a threat to his life and well-being. Therefore, it is likely that the Central Bureau of Investigation could move the Kolkata High Court seeking permission for a virtual hearing. This hearing will perhaps lead to Sanjay Roy giving his consent for the polygraph test. The polygraph test evidence is limited admissibility in a court of law, but it does give the investigating team crucial leads about what aspects of the crime the accused is lying, and then they can continue to probe or delve deeper to know the truth. So for now, it looks like Sanjay Roy is definitely the center of CBI's investigation in the Kolkata rape and murder case. Was Sanjay Roy a habitual sex offender? The main accused arrested in the Kolkata doctor rape and murder case is under the scanner for alleged perverted sexual behavior. He was put through a psychological analysis by the Central Bureau of Investigation. A special team was flown in from Delhi. There were experts who subjected him to psychological analysis, and at the end of that, it seems the experts have come to conclusion that Sanjay Roy shows no remorse while recreating or narrating the scene of crime and the crime that actually happened on the midnight of 8th and 9th of August. The body was discovered on the morning of 9th of August. A post-mortem was carried out. That post-mortem report finding and the psychological analysis is turning out to be key evidence for the Central Bureau of Investigation. Of course, the scientific evidence, the foolproof evidence of whether Sanjay Roy alone was involved or not would be the DNA test. The DNA strands received from the body have been matched with Sanjay Roy. The CBI is non-committal whether it shows a 100% match, whether it shows that anybody else was present in that room. That question is open. But it looks like things are fast moving to a situation where Sanjay Roy's presence and his role in the crime is being established beyond doubt. Now, let me reveal a little more about what the experts have told the CBI after the psychological analysis. They say that A, there's no remorse, there's no sign of remorse that Sanjay Roy shows when he's asked about the crime or his involvement in it. B, the way he's talking seems to suggest a quote-unquote animal instinct. And C, that there...
Climate change is on our doorstep. It's time for a revolution to take root. And it starts with 1.4 billion Indians. It starts with one tree for humanity, one tree for Mother Earth, one tree for a future. Project One Tree, a News 18 network initiative.
Presented by
actually deviant or perverse behavior that he is showcasing. Now, Kolkata Police's investigation also in the initial days, if you recall, Kolkata Police had taken up this case and for 4 days they had kept this case in their purview, within their investigative framework. Sanjay Roy was in their custody in no time. So Kolkata Police, when they looked at his phone, also got to know, sources tell us, that there were various pornographic clips on his phone there. There are some local reports here in the Kolkata media which suggest that before the crime was committed on the morning and evening of 8th of August, Sanjay Roy